It's 1923. You're 22 and you have the best paid job any girl in town could ask for. You paint the numbers on watch faces. The paint glows in the dark. So, by the end of the day, do you? In 2 years, a dentist will lift your entire lower jaw out of your mouth with his fingers. No surgery. This isn't a horror story someone made up. There are court records. Welcome to the weird part. The place is the United States Radium Corporation in Orange, New Jersey. The product is glow-in-the-dark watch dials painted with a radium mixture called Undark. The job is yours if you can hold a fine paintbrush steady. Most of the painters are teenage girls. The brush splays after a few strokes, so they teach you to reshape the tip with your lips. Lip, dip, paint. Lip, dip, paint. 200, 300 dials a day. A little swallow of radium with every point. Nobody tells you to stop. The managers tell you it's fine. One chemist is asked if it's safe and laughs. Because in 1923, radium isn't poison. Radium is magic. It's in tonics you drink for energy, in face cream, in toothpaste. Bottled radium water sells as liquid sunshine. So the girls treat it like a toy. They paint their nails with it, their teeth, their eyelids for a night out. You walk home after dark and you shimmer. The other girls call you a ghost girl. It's a compliment. Your dresses glow on the hook. Your hair glows on the pillow. You are, briefly, the envy of the town. One of the fastest painters is Molly Maggia. She and her sisters practically run the studio. Another is Grace Fryer. Sharp, careful, well-liked. Remember her. She matters later. For now, everyone is healthy, everyone is paid, and everyone is glowing. This is the good part. It's 1922. Molly Maggia gets a toothache. The dentist pulls the tooth. The socket doesn't heal. It just stays open and aches. So he pulls the tooth next to it. That socket won't heal either. Then her gums start to bleed on their own. Ulcers spread across her jaw. The pain moves into her limbs. By spring, she can't walk without help. The dentist reaches in to check a sore spot. Her jawbone comes away against his fingers. There's no surgery to do. It isn't attached to anything anymore. He just lifts it out and sets it down. In September 1922, Molly Maggia dies. She is 24. The death certificate says syphilis. She never had it, but that word does a job for the company later. Because Molly is not the only one. Across the studio, girls are limping. One girl's leg stops growing. She wears a stacked shoe. She's 19. Another's spine begins to crumble. She loses 4 inches of height in a year and keeps painting. Teeth, hips, knees, backs. Anemia so bad they faint at the bench. All in young women. All from one building. The company brings in doctors to examine them. The doctors say the same thing every time. You're fine. Grace Fryer's teeth start loosening in 1923. Her doctor finds radium in her jaw. She starts asking questions. Now, the part that turns your stomach. The company already knew. Its own founder handles radium behind lead. The chemists use ivory tongs and lead screens and masks. The women 30 feet away put the same substance on their tongues 300 times a day. In 1924, the company pays for a study. The study says the paint is causing the illnesses. The company does not release it. It commissions new reports that say the opposite and shows those around. A firm that sells radium runs its own medical exams on the sick women and pronounces them healthy. The word radioactive appears nowhere on the product. The girls have never heard it. Then an outside doctor, Harrison Martland, builds a test the company can't spin. The doctor has the women breathe onto a screen. Their breath is radioactive. They are exhaling radon gas. In a dark room, he wraps their bones in unexposed dental film. Days later, the film has photographed itself. The radium went in with the brush, swapped itself for the calcium in their bones, and never left. It sits in the jaw, the hips, the spine, firing into them from the inside every second for years. Grace Fryer decides to sue. It takes her 2 years just to find a lawyer willing to take it. Radium is respectable money. The company is powerful. The women are dye shop girls with months to live. In 1927, a young lawyer named Raymond Berry says yes. 5 women sign on. The press calls them the Radium Girls. Also in headlines, the living dead. They are all under 30. At the hearing, not one of them can raise her right arm high enough to take the oath. One testifies with her jaw held together by a wire. Another is carried in. 2 are already bedridden. The company's move is delay. Postpone the hearings. The doctors' calendars are full. Come back in the fall. The unspoken plan is simple, and it almost works. Wait for the plaintiffs to die. It's the newspapers that break it open. The photographs of 5 smiling women who cannot stand up. In June 1928, under that pressure, the company settles. $10,000 each. A yearly payment. Medical bills. Every plaintiff also has to accept that the settlement admits nothing, and most of the money arrives too late. Meanwhile, in Ottawa, Illinois, a second studio called Radium Dial has been watching all of this. Their response is to keep using the lip-pointing method and to post a reassuring notice on the wall. One of their painters is Catherine Donahue. She starts limping in 1931. The company keeps her on, then fires her for it. By 1938, she weighs 61 pounds and cannot leave her bed, so the hearing is held in her house. She testifies holding pieces of her own jawbone in a small cloth which she brought as evidence. She wins. Radium Dial appeals 8 times and loses 8 times and loses. Catherine Donahue dies weeks after the ruling. The women's bodies became evidence for decades. Some were exhumed years later, their bones still active on film. Molly Maggia was dug up in 1927, 5 years dead. Her bones still fogged a photographic plate wrapped around them. What they were owed, they mostly never got. What they changed, everyone kept. Their case built the right to sue an employer for a disease the job gave you. That right did not exist before them. The safety limits written from their bones were handed almost directly to the people who would later handle plutonium. They were told it was safe. They were told they were fine. They were told to put the brush back to their lips. They were right, and it cost them everything to prove it. That's the weird part. If this one got under your skin, the channel is full of them. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.